How we doing, YouTube? Steve here. It is, what is it? I think it's the 8th, something like that. Down here in the woods, the backwoods, putting some mineral out for deer. Oh, it is, what is it? 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock? Maybe it might be 10 o'clock by now. I had to go get some deer mineral. I don't know if you can see it back there. Lucky buck. And that bucket right there. Right there. They were, well, I don't know if they were out of mineral. Well, they're out of mineral. Let me rephrase that. They are out of mineral. I don't know if that's because we got so much rain this week. I didn't have my rain gauge out. I don't know how much rain we got all week. But you can see the old riverbed. That's the old Kankakee Riverbed right there. That's the way it used to, when it used to wind around like crazy. That was the bottom of it. Now, on the backside, you guys can't see because it's behind you. Probably about 100 yards, maybe not quite 100 yards, 80, 75 yards from where we're sitting right here is where the Kankakee River's at now when they straightened it. I can't even find out exactly what the date was they did that. It wasn't in the 1800s. It was in the 1900s, I think, that they did it. Maybe not. Maybe it was the 1800s they did it. Anyway, they ruined it. I shouldn't say that. They didn't ruin it, but they made it a lot, in terms of wildlife and hunting, they made it a lot worse than it was before. But they created a lot of farm ground, and so it's too late to complain about that, I guess. The damage is already done and the good is already done, so it doesn't really matter now. But anyway, I've got a couple spots like that right back there where I think we're going to be able to flood this this next fall for duck hunting. So I need to get some wood duck houses up, and but that's how the river marsh used to be. Maybe one of these days I'll do another video of that, show it a little bit better. But that is black water there. That would be, the sun went behind a cloud, thank you. That would not be the kind of water that you dive right into thinking it's the Blue Lagoon or anything. It is dark water. But for wildlife, they absolutely love it. And that ground right there, you could take a transit and measure the height of that water right there and walk that 80 yards over to the river and measure the height of that water in the river, and it will be the same. As that river comes up, all of this ground out from the river, that water all comes up from the bottom and floods these farm fields, and my house is probably, the little house in the woods is probably not a half mile, maybe a half a mile from where we're at right now. I'm looking, you can't see it, but it's right kind of up over there. Right in there is where it would be at. If there wasn't some trees in the way, I would be able to see it. But I've never had water at my house. But I've had, where we're sitting right now, well, over the last 10,000 years has been underwater 25,000 times probably. But more than that, it was underwater all the time. But I used to farm that before I put it in the WRP program. That would flood, maybe not every year, but once every 3 years, it'd have a foot or two of water on that whole farm. And all of this back here, you can see marks on the trees where it floods. And that's what it used to do. This used to kind of be the catch-all when we had heavy rains or big heavy snow runoff. These wetlands, they would collect all that water, and the water would move very slowly through them and acted a bit like, you can imagine them being like your liver or your kidneys filtering all that water as it moved from the north to the south. Well, now because we've drained everything for agriculture, dug ditches and straighten the river and take every little tree that falls in it out, that sped up that water process, that flow through, so you don't have those slow spots to let everything kind of settle out. And that's why you've got a dead zone the size of Rhode Island in the Gulf of Mexico, or the Gulf of America, whichever you prefer, because of all the nutrient runoff. Now, the good thing is you can go buy groceries cheap. The bad thing is it's not really the best for the environment. And that food isn't really the best for you or me. Whenever you look at a package and you turn it around, the more ingredients that's on the back of it, the worse off you are. Especially when you get to the ones you can't pronounce. Isn't that amazing? People go absolutely ape crap because they see a hair on their plate at a restaurant. And, rightfully so, I guess. But look at all the other junk we put in our body. And don't even think a thing about it. Don't even look. All those chemicals these companies are putting in our food, we don't even think nothing about it. What a deal. Where are we? What was I thinking? Oh, anyway. Yeah, so I got to put this mineral out for the deer. Oh, that's what I guess what I started out saying was I think I had mineral last week, a bit left, but with all that rain, it may have washed it down into the ground. So I'm going to put a new dose on top and put some corn with it. They like to eat. And actually, I've been putting a 50-pound sack out between my two trail cameras, and it doesn't last the week. It doesn't usually last 1 or 2 days. I'll try to figure out how to get some pictures up, maybe, so you can see my trail camera pics. And I got some other little feed spots I'm going to put up for you guys to be able to watch. Squirrels and things like that, and bird feeders, and coming up very soon on the channel. But what else is happening here around the homestead? Oh, got started digging the pond a little bit. Maybe I'll do a little short about that. And what else is going on? Oh, getting ready to order seed for food plots and sunflower seeds for dove fields. So that's good. And it's a nice weekend. I don't know how. I'm going to keep encouraging you to get outside. Get out of that house. Get away from the screens. Watch this stuff at nighttime. Don't turn your screens on in the middle of the day. Unless you're just using it for listening to as you're walking. But even then, get out to the park or get out to the game preserves or your wildlife areas. And it's too cold to go kayaking, but it's not too cold to go fishing. I don't know that any of the fish is biting. You might be able to find a few out scratching around. Some of the northern might be going, and walleyes and things. The panfish are probably pretty deep. You probably wouldn't get many of them, but yeah, get outside. This channel's if it's about anything, clean food and clean lifestyle. Get outside. Get away from them chemicals. Get away from that being stuffed up in that house and everything. But all right, everybody. God bless. We'll talk again soon. It was nice visiting with you from down here by the river. Thanks for the new subs. I really appreciate it. We're 2 away from 500. So if you haven't subbed yet, sub. Get me over the 500. God bless everybody. We'll talk again soon. Hope everybody has a great weekend.